Learning how to play music is constantly changing. There are several methods to utilize when teaching musical techniques, one of which is using the Suzuki Method.
Suzuki is a method of teaching music as one would teach a language. So, for example, babies learn language even when they're inside their mother's stomachs. They are hearing language spoken.
Karin is a Suzuki piano instructor. She says a child will eventually learn to mimic sounds and words.
Then we teach them later to read written language. So it's a similar approach with music in that we teach the children to speak, in other words, to play fluently, and we introduce the reading a little bit later, being able to hear something and then reproduce it on the piano and sound it out, if you will. So in the same way we sound out our sounds in the English language, they can learn to sound out on the piano.
She explained traditional teaching versus the Suzuki Method.
Traditionally, children are learning to read from the beginning. A book is put in front of them, typically from the very beginning, and they're learning to read immediately. So in Suzuki, we really want to get the foundations and teaching them the basic mechanics and technique and tone before they start to read, and really developing that ear strongly before introducing the reading.
She says there are advantages to using the Suzuki Method.
By developing their ear first, they are not handicapped by having to have the music in front of them at all times. So they develop a really strong ability to listen to a piece and then to play it, largely by imitation. So they'll listen, there's a set repertoire that they listen to, and then they come to the lesson, and then I'll teach by a series of I'll play and they copy. And so then we still introduce the reading, but not in the context of the Suzuki repertoire. They're definitely still learning to read, but when they are reading, they can already sound things out. So they're using a combination of reading and the listening piece to help them just have as many tools as possible to be able to learn these pieces.
On the day of my visit, a special delivery came.
You want to show us where it's going?
Yeah, sure.
Let's see. Where will it go?
Something like this, or do you want it more?
More like centered, or this angle.
Yep. Well, is ready?
Yep, ready.
More into the corner?
If you don't mind.
Okay, alright.
Ready?
Yeah. And then positioning wise, is this fine, or do you want it more?
Can you come a little more this way?
Yep, so Jaleel, open it.
A little more, sorry.
You're okay.
Yeah.
You like that?
Yes.
Wonderful.
How you gonna get them out there?
Very carefully.
Just stuck back there.
We're going to chicken them today. Oh yeah, if you put this back, yeah, it's gonna hit it back.
Okay, you can come out a little bit.
Yeah, I think you get.
Sorry, now then.
Oh, now y'all want to move.
Yeah, that works,
Yeah,
sorry, we opened it.
Yeah, you're... One more time.
Karin says she needed another piano for the studio.
Having two pianos has an advantage in that when I just have the upright, I can teach sitting beside the student, and that works fine. But when I have two, I can teach, especially once the students are a little more independent, I can teach with them on their own piano and me on my own piano, and then so that we have more space to work. In a lot of traditional studios, you're able to just drop the child off, they have their 30-minute lesson, then you pick them back up. Practicing can be really independent, you just send them off, go practice. But the problem with that, there's several disadvantages to that, and so with the Suzuki Method, we have the parents highly involved. It's kind of a package deal as far as commitment. So the parents come to all the lessons.
According to her, parents or caregivers are essential to a child learning music using the Suzuki method.
If they're practicing incorrectly, then they're really just reinforcing their mistakes, which can also almost be counterproductive and worse than not practicing at all.
That way, they can supervise their child's practice at home.
My Suzuki instructor, all growing up, she used to say, practice does not make perfect. Practice makes permanent. Only perfect practice makes perfect.
Karin's music teacher used Dr. Chinichi Suzuki's method to teach her classical music. In Staunton, Elaine Rackley for Breaking Through News.